So bans yesterday were a little bit. They're kind of they varied more than I expected. Iggy was actually a pretty big targeted ban, and which is
A lot more
kind
than
of
I
caught me off
expected.
guard. Kind of caught me off guard. Not gonna lie.
I mean, I guess fighting into his turrets is dangerous. I don't think he's that much of a threat, but I understand the reason to ban him. He's basically a impenetrable wall once he gets set up, and fighting through him can be a pain in the butt. We also saw this hero banned a lot as well.
Yeah, Aurora too, man.
A lot. This hero was banned. So Aurora banned coming out from Asura Rage. Guile Esports is up next with their pick. I mean, do you think we see Iggy, or do we start to see? We're not going to see Decker bans.
No, I highly doubt that. I think we're not going to see her banned or picked, unfortunately. I mean, to be honest, she had her reign for like a year.
That's true.
Kind of, that's how MOBAs are, man. The heroes come and go in and out of the flow and the meta and the mix. But I think Iggy is a hero that I was going to say, like, Iggy doesn't seem like, because the way you, as a team, you play with Iggy is quite different than other traditional mid heroes. So maybe teams aren't practiced with him, and I was going to say maybe some teams aren't comfortable enough to run him, but Guile's just like, nope, we don't even deal with it. Kwong very quickly picked up first pick, no surprise.
Guile Esports, quick pickups for Fung and Wraith, possibly Wraith carry. We saw a lot of Miso Sneaky playing Wraith carry the other day. Worked out really well when he had that synergy. I know on Guile Esports, they have Lucer as their support. He is a nasty, nasty support. I expect to see him on Bellica or Steel. But Azura Rage has got the next picks here. I'd like to see them try and pick up Bellica or Steel and deny those picks. So the Wraith carry is in a weird spot where he has to have like a Muriel support.
I agree. Yeah, kind of. That actually would be really ideal if they were able to pick that up there. Nope, going to get Rampage and Drongo. Now, don't get me wrong, Drongo's a good carry, but I don't know why you would prioritize him this deep into the draft. Not only this deep into the draft, but Guile has already showed their hand that they already have what is assumed to be a Wraith carry. So
yeah,
I'm not sure why they picked him so early on to the draft. I guess they're just prioritizing him. Maybe had suspicion this was a mid Wraith, not a carry Wraith. But they got their hands on Rampage though, who has definitely been one of the more contested jugglers.
Bellica picked up, so possibly a Bellica and Wraith combo, which I absolutely love. It's a devastating combo. Rewind into a seismic assault, into a void bomb, into a knock knock. Who's there? Your death. A 60-second respawn timer. Boom, got him. Wow. I apologize, chat. You guys can all leave. Thank you for watching. We're gonna call it a night. We'll see you next time. So Bellica picked up, which means we've got possibly support here. Richter, you like him in the jungle. I would not be surprised if we see Richter in the jungle.
I just don't like him as a support. Like, and every time we see him as support, I'm just so underwhelmed. Even if it's someone of a high caliber, it's just never. I don't think it's very good. And to be honest, I think there's other heroes who are just outright better as a support, than he is. And judging by the fact that they already have Bellica with the Wraith as well, that's I think at this point more than likely either a support or a support Bellica. I guess we'll see the last pick. It could be that'll really show their hand. But Gideon picked up another hero who has risen to fame this weekend. Most certainly has been the most picked mid laner into the game, maybe other than Iggy, who's just been banned outright. But I'm still kind of questioning the Drongo pick so early on. They are going to get Steel as their support. So they have a very tanky, Asura Rage has an extraordinarily tanky composition between Steel, Rampage, and Kwong.
Yeah, they really do. It's going to be a nasty engage from these guys. Kwong locking down with the tether into a Steel ult, and then of course Rampage Boulder and him just slapping away. So they've got a pretty nasty front line there and engage. Guile Esports has got their last pick here. I mean, at this point, who their mid laner, I guess, because I'm assuming Bellica and Wraith are going to be carry. So mid laner, Gadget, Howitzer. We haven't seen Howitzer at all.
Nah, he got pretty much neutered.
The range of that R2000 has really kind of put him behind. So I expect to see a Gadget pick here. And that's exactly what we'll get. So we'll have Azzy Bear
on support Bellica. Yeah, and a support Bellica as we kind of expected, and a jungle Richter. So that makes me happy. That makes me very, very happy. The thing here for Guile that I'm a little bit concerned about is their only real. I mean, they have a Richter who, yes, does have the best health scaling in the game and can be very tanky. Feng Mao is sort of he's on demand tanky, but he's not really, his ability to absorb damage is completely based upon more his mobility and his conversion shield, while Richter just sort of stands there and take damage. A solo Richter up against this massive front line of Asura Rage. I mean, if he hooks a steal, I mean, like, who are you going to hook? I'm thinking at this point. Drongo is literally the only ideal target at this point in time. And obviously Gideon, hooking him out of black hole is good and whatnot, but I don't know. The Richter, who's playing Richter here? It's Edoc. Okay. He might struggle this game with the triple front line that has been imposed in front of him.
I would just like to see him get online early. Start looking for those early game engagements and ganks. I expect to see a rotation from him where he's going to clear the jungle fairly quickly, pick up that green buff, and then I'd like to see him look for a gank in the mid or the safe lane for his team and try and just come online early and deny that mid laner or deny the carry that farm he needs and put them behind. That's really what he has to do to succeed in this particular role. We've got a duo mid lane set up here. Louis and Ghost are going to be playing in this mid lane against Hi to You, who is on Gideon, which the EU players that we've seen they tend to favor this duo lane setup. I think this is a great setup for some teams. Not every team can play this well, but it allows you to control the river buffs. It allows you to rotate, and if you decide to get aggressive, you can get aggressive in that jungle and deny green buffs, and also look for those early game kills on that jungler. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play this out here. The one thing that we have to watch out for, of course, is rotations from the offlane. Ghost does have that ward chain, so he'll be able to hopefully spot any of those rotations coming. But still, it's something they have to be worried about. And they are playing very aggressive and very far forward here. I mean, they're already under this tier 1 tower.
If you take a look at the overall theme of these drafts, specifically what I want to look at here is Guile Esports. They are a pick-off composition. Their draft is going to be excels at picking one or two people off during the laning stage prior to the when people start pushing tier 2 towers or contesting or prime. That's really sort of the big mid-game transition as we start to see those objectives get contended over. And that's why I really like this duo mid. They have a draft that's based around pickoffs. What better to do that than in the mid lane where there's going to be more action, there's more potential for pickoffs, and there's just going to be a higher chance of having success with what you are trying to achieve. Other side of the field, you take a look at Asura's draft. They have a very strong front line, which means they can siege towers very well. So I expect to see this safe lane of Asura Rage push down this tier 1 tower as we would expect, but more importantly, try to get an early tier 2 tower push and make sure Regal struggles in farm.
A little bit of aggression in the mid lane here. Faded Ren is actually the jungler on Kwang. They've got Rampage playing in the off lane. Rampage playing in the off lane for the side of Azura's Rage instead of in the jungle, which I was not expecting. Appy Picker likes that hero in the off lane. I personally think he's a better jungler than he is off laner, but he is going up against a Gadget. Once he gets at level 5, he'll have the advantage to dive and really, I think, dominate this lane once he hits that level 5. Edoc getting aggressive in the jungle here, going for the enemy green. He sees Faded Ren at about 50%
Faded's low. Lucier's gonna land a stun. That's gonna be a pretty easy kill. Running around the jungle with a third of HP with against a duo mid, it's asking you to get invaded and it's asking you to get picked off like that. If the team is duo mid and you as a jungler in your strong side, the green buff just spawned.
Another rotation.
And the duo mid's missing. You gotta be real careful there.
He lands the knockup. Unfortunately, the follow-up wasn't there. Look at that rewind into hook, into silence, into electrocution of death. Put him down, boys. That's going to be the carry. I love these rotations coming out.
I love this
from Guile Esports already. This is exactly what Edoc needed to do. He needed to come online, and he is rotating. They're rotating very effectively. This is the strength of the duo mid, Shane.
Yep.
This is the strength of this. They're utilizing it perfectly. They're invading, they're rotating, they're picking up kills. This is exactly how you play this duo mid.
Yeah, duo mid has been around for, I would say, upwards of about 6 months now. We started to see teams strategize around that shortly after Monolith came out, and it wasn't uncommon to see teams do it and just sort of not really, like, they would put 2 people mid and just sort of farm. That's not what you want to see with duo mid. You aren't there to farm. It's not even there necessarily to push heavy, because pushing the mid lane is very, very difficult. You don't want to be doing that due to obviously all the routes that you can get flanked and pincered and whatnot. It's all about controlling river buffs, picking people off. That's exactly what they're doing thus far. This is a roster we haven't seen much of yet.
Another rotation from Edoc.
Well.
Another rotation from Edoc, Shane. He picks up Rampage, hits him with that hook of death, pulls him in, and Azibear had already dealt quite a bit of damage when Edoc showed up, but they're able to just secure that kill. He's all over this map right now. Going back to the mid lane, he's got the purple buff. Is he going to rotate over and try and help them deal with Faded Ren? It looks like that's exactly where he's going. There's the rewind.
To back it up, Lucere has that Seismic Assault. Should be pretty easy. He's just going to come around the corner here. Hits the Seismic Assault. We're looking for Faded. Was able to land at a high DU. A little bit of split there. The hook does land onto getting to. They have the damage they do. The silence from Richter was integral in getting that kill. And they're able to pick him up here. They kind of split on the focus fire there, but they end up getting a very important kill nonetheless, especially on that Gideon. He's pretty hard to pick off, but Richter obviously has one of the stronger tools in the game to lock him down, make sure he can't torn space away.
I'm really enjoying the gameplay out of Edoc right now. His rotations are on point. He is setting up fights. He's picked up 3 kills. He's playing this hero in the jungle really well. This is exactly what I see. Again, continuing to get aggressive. He was looking to get aggressive in the jungle. He realized there's a couple here, but he's trying to make more plays. The other lanes, they're just farming it up. Yeah, Abby Picker picked up a kill, or Abby Picker ended up dying to Azibear, but that was again set up because of Richter just playing that position well. Regal, Shane, we haven't talked much about Regal over here. He is on the Fang Mao. He's picked up his Possessed Spriken, which is a 3-cost Vitality card. It gives you health regen, power, and health. It's a cursed card, so you can equip it, but it is a really solid card that really allows him to sustain and stay in those fights and make him tanky.
First black hole of the match, pretty much the roster of Guile just stood there, tanked it, and killed IDU for the duration of it. They've given up 2 kills so far. Got to be very careful. UFL now rotating over with those rad rounds. Ghost should be going down here. Big question is Regal only has enough mana for a Reaper dash, so he's not going to have enough for a hamstring into another auto attack, and an Earth Shatter could get a counter kill there. An aggressive push into the jungle. I think there's so much prioritization on the side of Guile here to try to cut off Faded's farm and levels very, very quickly. A little bit of an overcommittal there, mostly just set up by the fact that they tanked an entire duration of a black hole.
Yeah, they've taken some of the damage off of black hole, but standing in full duration is never going to be good, especially when you follow that up with a Cosmic Rift and the damage coming out of Burden. So a 3-for-2 exchange. Good rotation from UFL, able to pick up that kill on Ghost, who's just kind of had his way so far. Yes, he's only got he's got no kills and 1 death, but he's got 5 assists, which is giving him a nice little gold lead here. 37,000 to, I believe, 33,000 if my numbers are correct. So we're starting to see a little bit of a Guile Esports take a lead here. They have been basically running this match as of this moment in time. I want to see Azura's Rage. We've seen them in the past. Azura Rage has some very skilled players. I think they need to prioritize those rotations a little bit more and help out those jungle engagements, and possibly have Shui rotate off and help with that mid lane a bit, because High to You has just been punished in that lane.
Faded Ren undoubtedly struggling thus far with how frequently his jungle has been invaded here, but UFL on Drongo has been doing a decent job. He's actually now ahead of Ghost. So if you look at the 1 position carries here for both teams, there is a small advantage going over to Drongo here for Asura. So that is a little bit of an insurance policy that they have inside of their pocket here. But it's the time for them to start to switch it up a little bit needs to be pretty much within the next couple of minutes, I believe here. Look, totems are going to be coming online within the next 3 to 5 minutes, and then after that is really when you see a triple tank composition, you want to see them to apply the pressure.
Yeah, growth totems you want to see online between 8:30 and about 12 minutes. We already have 1 online for the Edoc over there. I expect to see Appy Picker to pick his up here in just a minute. We did see a little skirmish between Appy and Azibear. Appy, like I said, once he hits that level 5, has that ultimate, he can get a little bit more aggressive, and that's exactly what we saw. Another small skirmish in the mid lane here.
Yeah, Gideon's in a lot of trouble. They're really coordinating their crowd control on to High to You very, very well, and Edoc has been landing hooks left and right. Sure, they're not, crazy hooks to land. A lot of them have been on people who have been crowd controlled or people that have been almost directly in front of him, but still, without those hooks, those kills simply wouldn't happen. Through that pick off in the mid lane, they're going to pick up the first tier 1 tower at the mid lane here, and actually the first one of the match as well. Another hook onto Appy. Silence is there. He does not have his ultimate because he did use it just a little bit ago. The shield slam to try to protect him was just, I pretty much just completely saw that one coming. Dodged it. He gets shield bashed up. Should be going down here. It is a good exchange. Black hole. Actually not going to hit anyone except a little bit of creep. I think Heidi is just going to accept his fate, maybe get some farm. Still, they picked up a tier 1 tower and were able to pick up a secondary kill onto Rampage that I don't think they were going to be able to get.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically a 3-for-1. They picked up Heidi U, they picked up Faded Ren, they get the tower, and then they pick up Appy just to finish it off. Edoc dies, but that's all right. He's 4-2-6 right now. He's playing very well. He can just, when he respawns, get back to doing exactly what he's doing here. Regal getting aggressive onto U fell into this offlane. He's been silenced, so he's got to be a little bit careful here. Waiting for that shield boink. He is going to be able to get away. We've seen Regal just playing the offlane position the way you should be. He's farming. He's being a little bit more aggressive than we've seen others play this position, but he's keeping the lane pushed out, which is giving him control over this lane and denying the time, the rotations from the safe lane carry and support.
Ghost has the Swift Hunter card up, which is a card we don't see very often, but I always like to see variation, especially in the current build. Just pretty much the old, what was that card that gave you speed boost? Doesn't matter. Regal diving the tier 1 tower over here on the safe lane of Guile Esports. Trying to get some work done here, but actually a flank around through the strong side of the jungle. Picking up Shui right there. Lucer gets the kill with this Cerebral Disruptor. And they should be able to pick up yet another objective here. So the rotations have been swift. They've been concise, and they're going to pick themselves up yet another tier 1 tower. And so far, I think the Achilles heel of the composition of Asura and overall just how this game has been going, I think has been the steal. Not that Shui is playing him incorrectly by any means, but I think he's just been locked down, and the only shield slam opportunity he had was a swing and a miss, and it was forced to be used defensively. I think Asura has a composition where if you're using ultimates in a defensive capacity and to peel off your other frontliners, that's really a bad testament of the game, and it means you need to step it up.
Yeah, Guile Esports at this point, they are playing this perfectly. Their rotations are on point. They are utilizing Ghost's ultimates and his rewind effectively. Edoc, I'm really impressed with this Richter gameplay in the jungle. I know we've talked about it. You prefer him in the jungle role. I like him in a support position.
He's so bad.
But but watching him play is he's playing this really well. They have a 15K gold lead right now, 65 to 50,000 on the side of Guile Esports. They are just playing this perfectly. We either need to see more rotations out of Azura's Rage, or they need to start looking for picks. Honestly, I would have preferred to see Rampage in the jungle instead of Kwang. It's a weird decision to put Rampage in the offlane. Kwang is a much better offlaner than Rampage is, and Rampage is a much better jungler than Kwang is. It's a weird lane configurations from these guys, and they're not really doing much rotation.
Ghost has what looks like a jungle cards, but that's okay. I'm sure he'll transition out of that. And talked about it yesterday. The the Wraith carry build diverges a little bit from other traditional carry builds, but still very, very effective. Something that has been played a lot of, and actually think a lot of teams put prioritization into him, into Wraith as a carry more than anyone else. A big, strong invasion inside of the strong side jungle. A little bit scrappy with some of the team members of Guile going into other teammates of the other. Back it up, used onto Ufel, and he gets absolutely destroyed. A big 5-man shield slam, beautifully done to hit all 5, but the follow-up simply isn't there. As a support steal, you need a lot of follow-up off of that, and it's simply not happening. This essentially was a 2v5 that they are not looking bad in, all things considered. So I think Assault is going to split apart Shui, and he's going to get taken apart as well. But I mean, it was a beautiful, as a steal player, you hit a 5-man shield slam, you feel real, real good, but the positioning from Asura Rage, very indicative that they had a disconnect in the shot calling inside of that recent engagement, and that's going to be the single biggest reason why they're going to lose that one. Yeah,
that was, again, just great rotations coming out of Guile Esports. We did see the 5-man ultimate for Steel, but I think they're just so far behind that not having everybody alive when that happened They didn't get anything off of that. Edoc waited to use that skewer. He used it on Steel and Rampage. They were able to secure 2 more kills. They're not going to get any major objectives off of it, but they're going to get basically a full 5-man. They're going to give him more of a gold lead, 76,000 to 60,000. Is that right? A 17,000 gold lead right now?
Yep.
Wow. That is
significant at this point.
That's a pretty significant lead at this point. Yeah. And we're starting to see, midpoint for the side of Guile. They've got their 3 cards on. We're starting to see Unbroken Spirits come online. We've got growth totems that have been building up. These guys at this point, Asura's Rage, they really just need to freeze their lanes, freeze their minions at their towers, and farm, because they're not winning objectives, they're not rotating as a team, and they're just getting picked off.
Right before PEX and shortly after PEX, Azzy and the rest of his team, whom were probably named something different at that point, there's a lot of chatter going on about them, how they were taking one more wave, how they were taking up games off of the #1 teams at the time, and so on and so forth, and didn't really get to cast them very much, and I haven't really been able to watch much of their scrims before then, as well as in the most recent days. But the chatter seems to be completely validated by the performance thus far here of Guile Esports. They've been performing like a team that has been together for some time. The synergy, the shot calling, all have been on point, and that's just reflected by the current state of the game. They have I was about to say a healthy economical lead, but I would say it's more than healthy to this point. These guys are pretty much jacked on gold, and they're going to continue this here. The op is a go coming out from Ghost on the Wraith. The thing about that ultimate, for those of you who don't know, is it's really loud. So you can hear that ultimate going off from quite a distance away, and it's very, very telegraphed as long as you have your audio up. And you can see immediately several members of Asura Rage backed up when they were to hear that. I'm pretty much just going to fall back until the smoke clears.
We're going to see a push for this tier 2 tower here. Azzy Bear pushed to the mid lane. We've got 3. Is it 3 grouped up? No, there's 4 here. I can't see Louis. I see his name, but I don't see his body. That's interesting.
Okay. Oh, the ambush. Oh, faded. Oh, no, faded. They were sitting right behind the fog wall. They actually were thinking about going in. Shield slam again on 5. There's the black hole. That's what they needed before. Maybe to potentially turn this around. The health on everyone on the side of Guile's going down, and Shui brings the pain. The follow-up from the Gideon black hole. Beautifully done. But does Guile Esports have it in the tank to potentially turn this around, even despite that they got initiated so hard on? Appy now rotating around. Boulder is there under Regal, but the conversion shield is going to keep him alive. But beautifully done right there. Guile gets 3 taken off the field, completely set up from Asura. That is what they needed a couple minutes ago when Shui hit his first 5-man shield slam of the game.
He figured he'd follow it up with a second and really make it look good that time. Got to give it to Azzy Bear and Regal with the rotation. Azzy Bear dropping a 5-man dome, and then Regal just destroying too. The only reason they didn't get the full 5-man wipe there is Azzy Bear wasn't in that fight from the start. He had significant health, and so did Regal. They were able to deny any sort of counter push on the side of Asura Rage. But great play from Asura Rage right there. That was a pretty nasty combo, Shane.
It's very rarely, even when Steel's range on his shield slam and the diameter of it was larger, very, very rarely did we ever see 5-man shield slams. And now the distance on it is pretty small. They did increase the size of it a little bit, but I can't think. I'm pretty confident in saying this is the first game we've ever seen a Steel land multiple 5-man shield slams since we've been doing this.
Back to back, yeah. We've seen it where it was like, oh, that's a 5-man ult, but there's no follow-up like we saw the first time. And this one we had that full team follow-up there. It's nice to see it when it happens. It's one of those moments where you're just like, God, this is why I like Paragon, because of plays like that. It's beautiful to look at, and it's fun as crap to watch. We're at 19 minutes, Shane. 19 kills on the side of Guile Esports. 8 kills on the side of Asura Rage. Orb Prime going to be an objective that these guys want to take or set up for? Are they taking this? Are they baiting this? They've
They're
got the
just straight
time to
taking
do
it.
it. They've got the damage. I don't think these guys know this is happening. The rotation's coming, but I think by the time
here comes the shield slam. This is the wombo combo again. They line them up. They get all three of the big ultimates going down, and Ghost is going to get torn apart. Oh, he's still alive somehow. He's actually in stealth. He's going to be able to get away, but the rest of his team now coming in. Edok gets in. He gets the kill on the Gideon, potentially looking for more. Earthshatter does a little bit of damage on a Faded, but it's going to be the sticky bomb from Azzy. That's going to get him taken out right there. The wombo combo was executed again, but unfortunately, being at an economical deficit that Asura Rage finds themselves at, and the power of the Orb Prime being online for Guile was going to give them just too much power. They were able to withstand the just complete onslaught of the Fury of the Heavens, the Black Hole, and the Shield Slam. Only lost their support, who is now back on the field, only being level 10 here. And this is going to be a deadly push coming down the pipeline here. Asura Rage are on thin ice.
Yeah, I don't think Appy and Shui are going to be able to pick up this, defend this inhibitor here. At this point, I say let this go. That way you don't have these staggered deaths, because these staggered deaths could be a death sentence. So they are just going to let this fall. They are going to back up. We're going to see Lucer start pushing down this mid lane so they can get the mid lane tier 2 and the inhibitor here. Again, great utilization of the ultimate on the Asura's Rage. They just don't have the damage output that time to stop that Orb Prime.
Ghost,
Ghost
got away with like 14 HP.
Those are those puckered moments. Cracking walnuts over there.
Oh yeah, pucker factor.
Tier 2 tower is going to fall here. Excuse me. I need a mute button, Shane. Just one I can press like we had it.
Oh yeah, I remember that shield slam. It's Azzy and Ghost, but again, as of right now, there's just so much damage that they're able to turn it around here. They are able to get a little bit of damage, but unfortunately, High T already picked off. The carry player is down of Ghost, but there's still so much damage coming out, being outputted by Guile Esports. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. He's landing hooks left and right, man. Appy able to pick up a reprisal kill onto the support here. The inhibitors, of course, did fall both mid and that left lane. So at this point, I don't think the potential for any sort of counter push is happening, especially when your Richter just casually gets a low-key triple kill.
Yeah, I mean, just... So, he picks up the kill. Appy, running through the jungle, trying to get away, ran right into Regal. Crap, I gotta escape. He got hooked by Edok and gets picked up and killed. Edok decides he's also going to take out Faded Ren, who is trying to kill Lucer, which eventually he does get the kill, but they pick up the kill onto Faded Ren, and Edok picked up the kill onto Shui, the Steel. Steel landed another great ultimate onto 2. The follow-up was there, but they were just separated. Regal was in the back line, Shane. He was dealing with the carry and zoning people out, and that's the reason we didn't see better follow-up onto that 2 to 3 man, two-man shield slam. Both
two-man shield slam.
The two-man shield slam. 2 inhibitors are down right now for the side of Asura Rage. At this point, I mean, this could be okay. So we can look at this in one of two ways. These guys just freeze up these 2 lanes and farm, because they're going to be pushing into them constantly, because minions that were stronger than before are now on the map. So they can just farm up here, try and regain some of this gold. The deficit 128 to 94,000. That's the difference in gold right now. I mean, the lead that Guile Esports has is astronomical. I don't know if they can come back from this.
This is a very it's insurmountable at this point, unless Guile just have a unprecedented series of mistakes. The only, I think, potential hope is that they just get completely wiped. The thing that Asura has for them, which we've seen, is massive wombo combo, but it's hard to do when these hooks coming out from Idok have been so good. The shield slam comes in, but by the time it even hits the ground, Gideon taken off the field, as well as Drongo, I believe. They're going to try to do what they can here, but more than likely not going to be enough. Once again, Ghost is barely going to live by the skin of his teeth here. It's the second or third time this match that's happened. That's a full ace. 5 go down, 0 for Guile. As they're just going to say, don't worry about the inhibitor. We're going to go on to the core and end this game to try to get ourselves into the finals. One more game ahead of them. An impressive performance coming out from Guile right here.
Impressive is an understatement. We saw You Think Twice the other day put on a good show, but they were playing a team that wasn't quite up to this caliber. We've got solid players over on the side of Asura Rage. Faded Rend, Shui, Appy Picker. These are all players we've seen in the past. Hi to you and Ufel. We've seen them as well. And Asura's Rage just came out and Guile just came out and put on a show. Edoc's play on Richter jungle was some of the best Richter play we've seen. Shane, he was a Richter carry. He wasn't just a Richter jungle. He was a Richter carry. 12
I
kills.
myself did not witness a single missed hook. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm just saying every time I saw him throw a hook, he landed it.
Yeah.
Throw a hook, he landed it.
Yeah. It was pretty impressive. 12, 3, and 18. He was the most farmed on the map on either side. Very, very good Richter jungle play. Really pleased with that. Guys, thank you for watching. As always, we've got more games coming up. Is Azura's Rage going to be able to take this to a game 3, or are they going to be knocked out of the semifinals in the next game? We're going to find out in just a minute. We'll be right back, guys.